Hello and welcome to day 69 of Getting Good at Talking. I'm Leah and I'm recording myself every day talking to camera so that I can get better at talking to camera. I'm on a walk right now, sort of. I'm on a break. I've been standing here for a while because I've been contemplating doing this right now or waiting, and I know I need to do it now, so we're going to do it now. We're going to stand in the shade for a little bit. I watched a video last night, and I started to record this, and then I took a break because I wanted to rewatch it to make sure I understood correctly what this woman said. A woman recently went viral for sharing a video of her after just finding out her husband of their 4 children was had a 1-week-old baby with another woman. And not that video, but a few videos after, I watched all of them, but in the last one that she has on her profile, she said something very interesting. At the very end, she said she never thought she would be an ex-wife because she was born to be a wife, or something like that. I just watched it again so I would get it right, but it was something to that effect. I never thought I would be an ex-wife because I was born to be a wife. Those were the last words she said in this video. And it just hit me because that's what we're taught. We are taught that we are born into this world to fulfill a role, whether that role is wife or mother or daughter or friend or employee. We're taught we have to fulfill these roles, and that's why we're here. No, that's not why we're here. We were not born to be wives or mothers or daughters or friends. We were born to be ourselves and to express ourselves fully in the most magical ways possible. We were born and we're here to love and to be loved. We are not here to play a role. Yes, we do have these roles, but that is not who we are. And it kills me because, of course, I thought a similar thing. I thought when I was served divorce papers, I didn't have that thought I was born to be a wife. I had but it's a shock to the system when you realize that this role you have been in is no longer. And you have to grieve the version of yourself that was in that role. And it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard journey to navigate. And I have so many feelings on this because I feel like women in particular it's beat into our brains that we are here to be wives and mothers. And I'm not a mother of a biological child. Well, I feel like I was about to go in different territory. Anyway, we are not here. We were not put on this earth to play roles. That is not our purpose. Yes, we do those things. We have our roles. That is not who we are. And it's really hard, though. I know it's like from experience, it's really hard to break away from these roles that we were taught we have to fulfill to the best of our ability. If we don't fulfill these roles, if we're not acting out these roles the best we can, we're not worthy. That's what we're seen as. Like, if you're a bad mom, if you're a bad daughter, if you're a bad friend, if you're like, we make these things our identity, but they're not our identity. And it just my heart broke a little for her, because, well, it breaks for, I mean, many people are going through similar things. It's like we tie ourselves to these roles, and when we're no longer in these roles, it's heartbreaking and it's hard, and we don't know how to navigate it because we've turned that role into our identity when it's not. And I will say, I don't know what I want to say. I have feelings about this topic, obviously. And since I watched the video again right before I recorded this, some of the other things she said, my heart feels for her. And for anyone navigating challenging shit, because we suffer so much when we have tied ourselves to these roles. And it's hard to break away from what we know. And it's just, I can see, like, when things like this happen, it's like the precursor to this, like, long, winding journey of remembering who you are. And women are fucking badass. I have no doubt she's gonna remember who she is. But remembering my own catalyst to my own journey, I'm like, yeah, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Like, it sucks, it's painful, and perhaps the most painful part about it is the acknowledging of all the stuff you didn't want to see. The taking off your rose-colored glasses, and acknowledging that while you didn't do anything, like, see, now I'm getting into, like, territory I don't want to, because it's like, I'm not, what am I saying? All I'm saying is each person, every individual person has their own journey. Like, yes, he did the he did the cheating and he is fathering a child outside of their marriage. And I have thoughts on that too. Like, clearly, he does not love himself. There's a lot of shame in that man, and he needs validation from external sources. He was never taught how to love himself, so he looks outward for that. And he found that somewhere else outside of his marriage. It's the same for anyone who cheats. It's a person who was never taught to love themselves. It's a person who is full of shame and believes they require external validation, and they need a source of love outside of themselves because they weren't taught to find it within themselves. So he's got his own shit, his own journey. And she has hers. And I'm speaking from experience because, you know, I didn't believe my marriage was good before I was served divorce papers. But I had, like, I don't know, I'm distracted now. There's like a bunch of people around, and and all I wanted to really touch on was this way of living that we're taught to identify with these roles, and we are not a role. We are so much more than a role. I am so much more than a daughter and a friend. And I'm like, I don't even what other roles are there? And it's hard to pull yourself away from that. I'm so distracted right now. And I'm like, where's this going, Leah? I don't know. I don't think it's going really anywhere else. I also have to pee, so I think I'm gonna start walking towards the restroom, and we'll just take you along with me. And maybe I needed to move my body. That's better. My legs feel better. I've been standing there for a while before I started recording, so my own experience with these roles was, so before I got a divorce, I quit my job. I quit my corporate job. And that was the first role I detached from, because it was a good job. I was gonna say a great job, but I learned so much, and that's another topic for another video. But I recognized that I wasn't being paid what I was worth, and I recognized that the company did not see my value. And so I decided to leave. And then that was when why am I cringy facing? Because this is turning into something else. So after that, my marriage crumbled. And I realized when I quit that job, I realized I had never stopped. Like, since meeting my ex-husband, since meeting him and dating him, like from the point we met to the point where I quit my job, I had not stopped. I had a few jobs before that, and we lived together. This is not making any sense. Okay, so our first apartment we lived together in, was flooded when Harvey came. And so that was a process of, and I didn't have a job at that point, which was like really great because I was able to move our stuff, what we had left. I was able to move it. I'm gonna go to this table. I was able to move it to our new apartment. And then once we were settled there, I found a job, and it was the corporate job that I quit before we got divorced. Anyway, and I just realized I had been going nonstop. Like, I'm a very crafty, creative person, and I built our new furniture for our new apartment, and like painted it and stained it, and I had all this, I was always doing stuff, and I never stopped until I quit my job. And I realized I had been unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, I don't know, ignoring a lot of behavior, and just, I didn't stop long enough to see what our relationship actually was. And it was conditional. Our relationship was absolutely, oh, hello, I don't have anything for you. Squirrel. Sorry, buddy. Just looking for a place to eat your nut. Wish I had some more water left. Okay, I don't like it when these videos go like this, when I'm like all over the place, and then, yeah. Where was I going? Where was I fucking going? Our marriage, our relationship was 100% conditional. And because it was so, when I quit my job, I didn't realize that was a condition. my ex had married me under, like, because I was working and contributing financially. Anyway, I'm real frustrated right now. I'm frustrated because of the direction this is going. I didn't want to talk about this in depth, but I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, so first separation was from a role of employee. I was a great employee. Second, separation was from role as a wife. I'm an ex-wife. Third, was, or has been, separation from my role as friend. And I'm sure I'm gonna forget some roles, but friend was a more difficult one than wife was, because I always prided myself on being a really great friend. I was the friend that you could count on, that you could call at 3 a.m. and tell me that your boyfriend punched you in the face and you had a black eye. Like, I was that friend that you'd call. And I really, really identified as a really great friend. But as I started separating myself from these roles, I realized that I had been abandoning myself for the sake of saying I was a good friend. I'd drop whatever the fuck I was doing and I'd go tend to a friend's children if they needed me. And I would let friends schedule things and just say, like, I don't care, it doesn't matter to me, as if my time was not worth anything. And I realized, Leah, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? This is all fucking twisted, and you gotta start putting yourself first. You are the main character of your life, and you gotta start acting like it. And so I separated myself from the role and identity of good friend. And that's why I have none. No. Well, I realized a lot of as with my job, I noticed, like, they did not see the value in me, and I noticed that with friends. They did not see the value in me, and so I stepped away. And that was probably the hardest. It was okay, it was hard a few times, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Like, everything is so much easier when you frame it like, I'm choosing myself now. And so it's become so much easier to separate myself. It was a little rough in the beginning, but once I was like, I'm choosing me, I love me so much that I'm never abandoning you again, Leah. It made it a lot easier to let go of people. And then the first role I had was daughter. I was always a good daughter, the best daughter, the greatest daughter. And I realized a lot of my decisions, a lot of my choices had been framed from that role. Like, what would make my parents proud? A lot of my decisions were made from that frame of mind. And I was like, they're not me. They're not living my life. I'm living my life. I have to choose for me. And so I've made a lot of choices that they've not been happy with, such as sharing my story on the internet. And I got a lot of feedback from them that was not something a child wants to hear from their parents. But once someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. I realize this goes for everyone. I thought it only applied to, like, you know, friends, relationships, like romantic relationships, whatever. Also applies to family. So yeah, I have had to detach from that role as well. And I've realized I'm still a great person. I'm a lovely person. I'm a beautiful, kind, compassionate person. I am incredible. I am magical. And I don't need anyone, not one single other person, to tell me that, because I know it. And no role that I fill is really that important, because the most important role is that I'm myself. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, I have to pee. I have to pee pretty bad now. So that's not where I thought we were going with this today, but I guess I hope it's easy to understand my why do I care? Anyway, to add to this, when people ask children, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think it's so important that we teach children, that we guide children, that we model for children that what we want to be when we grow up is ourselves. What do I want to be when I grow up? Me. I want to be me. Yep. Okay. Well, I think we're good for today. I will see you tomorrow. Now I feel weird about leaving so abruptly. Why do I feel so weird? Why am I getting so close to the camera? But really, I'll see you tomorrow.